Welcome, it's Brenda Lainoff. And yeah, I invite you to the very first dowsing, and this is for the month of September. So before we begin, I just want to, if you're okay with just for 1 minute, I just want to give a little bit of a background as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. I live in Calgary, Alberta. I worked in the oil and gas industry for over 30 years in corporate. And I had a number of health issues. I didn't realize I was such an empath. And it was in 2008 when I was pressured to see if I had cancer in my right ovary to go in and check it out. And that's when I had a cardiac arrest. They lost me and they revived me and brought me back. So as you can imagine, this was a life-altering moment for me, to say the least. And it really pushed me into what I'm doing here today. And I love what I do. It's a far cry from corporate, although I do have hope that corporate will be open more and more over the years. So I hold multiple certifications. I don't know, I think within the last 12, 15 years of lately as a level 2 craftsman pathogenics, medical intuitive, certified body code and certified emotion code practitioner, EFT, UN practitioner, and angel card reader is trained by Dorian Virtue when she was in Vancouver, Canada. So I was excited because I knew she was sort of ending her whole tour. You know, she was touring. I think she kind of just backed off and settled just in Hawaii. So I was very happy to have had that day with her. And I also have a radio show called the talkshoe.com. My passion is to help people feel better, and just like I need to feel better, and really getting results on a physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental levels. And an area that I love to work with is with detecting, intuiting any hidden pathogens, virus, heavy metals, miasmas, bacteria, toxicity that can create havoc in the body. So once I intuit what's causing or creating unease, I then energetically look and lift and dissolve that frequency. So as you can see, I have a pendulum here, and that's what I'll be working with tonight. I love dowsing. I'm not saying I'm this big dowsing expert, but I've been using it every day for years. And that's part of what I do when I'm intuiting and receiving answers, and then for the clearing and lifting. So I have found that by doing the pathogen work, I've been getting some really cool results. And I've had my own issues of shingles, Bell's palsy, skin cancer, arthritis, fibromyalgia, and I know that this is underlying all of that. It's related to viral. So that's what I've been working on. I'm finding that my own personal inflammation is gradually going down. So that's exciting news, and I want people to see results, obviously, as well. So as I mentioned, I was in the oil and gas industry, and I felt compelled. Let's do the very first one for the month of September on petrochemicals. So petrochemicals, they're derived from petroleum. And I'm no expert, again, as to petrochemicals, but I do know that they're obtained from fossil fuels such as coal and natural gas, and renewable sources as corn, palm, fruit, and sugar cane. And they're found in so many array of household items. They're in plastic wrap, trash bags, to plastic bottles, and we rely on them heavily. We rely on these petrochemicals, but they're affecting the environment. And there can be petrochemicals at the sea level. So these large oil spills can cause widespread damage, and it goes to the surface of the water, and then as the sediment surfaces and vegetation surfaces, it smothers the plant life and microbial life, which affects the food chain. So then it's in the food chain. So that's one way of getting these petrochemicals in our system. Another way is burning off fossil fuels. So petrochemicals have a significant negative impact on the environment. When they're burned, they release ash, nitrogen, sulfur, carbon into the atmosphere. So my question to you, and if you do muscle test, fine. If you don't, no big deal. But if you happen to muscle test or douse, ask yourself the question: do you have petrochemicals, toxicity in your DNA, genes, chromosomes, and cellular substructures? So check on that. And I have to tell you, I haven't done any clearing for myself, so I'm going to be checking for myself. So I'm going to be asking, do I, Brenda, have petrochemical toxicity in my DNA, genes, chromosomes, cellular substructures? Now my pendulum is right now is going back and forth. Back and forth to me is like a maybe. And we'll just give it a moment. Get my head out of the way. It's very important when you're, well, that's interesting. I'm actually getting a no. So I don't know. I'm going with that. At the moment, I do not. Maybe that's because I've been doing all this work lately. But for yourself, test. Do you have it or not? It's another way of testing, yes and no. And if you're not sure about the whole muscle testing, that is something that I go over with in the one-to-one sessions where we meet like this on Zoom or Skype. And it works out really well to get you very, very strong as to testing if you're just not too sure. But I want you to know that regardless of what happens, if you test or not test, you're going to get the same results when we do the clearing. So before we do that, I just want to throw in and just do some clearing of negative emotions. So what we're going to be doing is deleting. So strengthening to delete any negative emotions, fears, and anxieties when it comes to pollution in the water, in the air, and it can create such anxiety in the body. So let's really work and clear any anxiety in the body, just allowing the pendulum. I'm just holding on to it, just so you know, deleting all anxiety in the body, because it can create such anxiety now. Get about it in the news. I mean, we're all very aware of the toxicity. So it's just deleting that, all the fears and anxiety now. And okay, let's strengthen you now. And for me, that's bringing in the right spin. We want you to be strong and very, very strong and really good and mentally like, yes, let's go ahead and clear, neutralize, and release and lift that toxicity at the very causal level from whence it came into the present. Now, let's just strengthen you for that, to being strong for that. And also, I want to strengthen everybody's vibration. So it's raising our vibration right now. The lowest vibration we can have is shame. And let's just raise that up right now to enlightenment. Just raising it up now to enlightenment. Raising our vibration now. And if you see me yawning, that's what I do. It's just that it happens, and part of okay. Good. So now we're going to start the process, and you can sit back, as this only be a minute or two, and we're going to do the clearing. So again, if you do happen to muscle test, then ask, do you have any petrochemicals lodged in your DNA, genes, chromosomes, and cellular structures? And if you're not too sure, that's okay, because this works exactly the same way if you know or if you don't know the answer to that. So I'm going to begin the process and deleting all this petro from this that's in the body, wherever it's stored at, and deleting the toxicity now through the body fluids, cellular waste. I'm going to bring it through the lymphatic system. And have it clear out all of the fluids and vessels, nodes, ducts, throughout the entire lymphatic system. And we're going to start the process again, just from the cleared it out throughout all the brain, spinal cord, the body, organ systems, organs, tissues, cells. We're asking to clear it out from creator, subcellular, molecular, atomic, subatomic, nuclear, subnuclear, quantum field, matter to energy now. Just allowing this toxicity from all the petrotoxicity. And we're asking that it be cleared, neutralized, and lifting now. So just allowing the energy to lift, that frequency to lift in its entirety. Oh, excuse me. So we want it to lift from every nook and cranny, anywhere it's hiding out now. In the brain, and again in any organs and glands, in the blood, in the bones, ligaments, tendons, through all the lymphatic system. And let's delete all memory of the toxicity, having memory of it, and clearing that right down to that quantum field, and matter to energy, energy to matter now. And giving our gratitude to Creator, God, for assisting us today and clearing out all this toxicity. We're grateful for that. So thank you, thank you, thank you for guiding us today. Okay, starting to slow down. Okay. So you can take a deep breath, and if you happen to have a sip of water, encourage you to drink your water and help flush out this toxicity. So you're flushing it out. And I want to, strengthen you to being strong, to believing this just occurred, to seeing it, to expecting it, to imagining it, imagination to reality, beyond imagination to reality now. You just want to be strong to this. It's like, oh, I don't know if it's going to work or not. No, we're going to strengthen you to being strong, to seeing this, knowing this. Okay. Again, another deep breath. And release. And before I open up the lines, if you are interested in maybe knowing if you have any toxicity or pathogens, you can go to my website, which is whisperingenergetic.ca, or that www.about.me/Lainoff, LAINOF. And if you're interested in having this video so that you can go back to that segment of clearing, if you're feeling like, oh, I don't know, perhaps maybe I've got some toxicity, I encourage you to go back to that segment of clearing, and it's just as effective as this live Zoom call. So I'm going to unmute and ask how everybody's doing. Jean, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I did a lot of yawning with you.
I know, it's contagious.
But I think I feel stuff moving, so.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's good. Feeling it move. And yeah, drink your water, of course. Yeah, that's good, because jeepers, it's not getting any better out there. And this is definitely one video, to have in your back pocket if you're sensing that and we're surrounded by it. I mean, that's just the reality, and I think that's just the way it's going to be, unfortunately. And Sandra, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good. So, pardon me?
No, I think it's hard, everything that we're going through. There's just so much going on at all times.
I agree. And it's so important to have our own little tribe, where we can just talk about this, the concerns. Yes, we have the Facebook, and that, which is great, but it is good to have that support, and because we're all over the place, different countries, Canada, US, and we're all over the place. So it's really good. At least we can support one another, and there's lots of different places to do that. So yeah, it's really, really important. I'm so grateful I have that in my own life that I've worked at. I worked at it and created it. So to have those lifelines where you're giving and receiving and giving and receiving, we have to have that. And so yeah, it is. It's so important that we can just check in on one another and see how we're doing. So thank you guys for joining. This is the first one here in Healing Healers Pathogens. And I'm going to be downloading this in the group. We'll see if Facebook keeps it or not. I'm not too sure. If they don't, then message me and I'll have this recording saved and I'll send it to you and try to find out that segment where you can just go back to it and just do the clearing. And if you're interested in, again, like I love to teach. So if you're interested in, like, wonder if I'm doing something, you know, if you have that doubt, am I doing something wrong, or, you know, I'm not dowsing right, or if I'm not testing right, there can be a lot of beliefs related to that. So it's one area that we can look at, like, why is that? You know, where did it come from? Why, you know, where are you holding on to this belief that, you know, I can't do this? Because we all have our stuff, our crap. So, you know, we just need to clear it. And there's there, and it could be generational. It may not be everything that, you know, you come in, you know, that's happened to you in this lifetime. It could be something that you're carrying in, which is always just blows me away. So thanks for joining, you guys. And I'll be again posting this. And yeah, you got any questions about it or at all, you know, about pathogens or clearings, just please feel free to message me or message, you know, put something in the Healing Healers Pathogen group. And yeah, take care. Appreciate you popping in. Everybody's busy with their lives. From Florida, and Sandra, you're in New York.
Yep.
So best to you with this hurricane. That's not going to affect you, I don't think, is it?
Not me. I don't know about Florida, though.
Yeah, that's what Jean was saying, that she felt maybe it wouldn't. So, but I was mentioning to Jean before you came on, I think there's a lot of light workers out there that are just, they're doing it's just bringing this, you know, category down. So I'm sure that's going on at the moment.
I think there's, what did they say? Some kind of plant, nuclear plants in the path. That's what people are upset about.
Oh, what do you mean the pass?
In the path of the hurricane.
Oh, in the
like
path of the, oh dear.
Yeah, that's the big concern. That's what I saw recently, that there are 3 or 4 nuclear plants in the path of the hurricane, that if the hurricane hits, that the fallout would be bad.
Oh,
and actually, somebody told me about a month or 2 ago that something bad was going to happen on the East Coast. And now I'm starting to wonder if that's what they were referring to. You know, they didn't really know the specifics, just that something was going to happen that was going to make real estate less valuable on the East Coast.
Oh, brother. Oh, for Pete's sakes.
Yep. So that's the big concern right now. And that's important because, you know, it's nuclear plants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you think of Chernobyl, and, you know, I'll just tell you a quick little story here. I actually lived in Kazakhstan for a short period of time, and it was oil and gas related. And, you know, that Chernobyl, like my husband, when he was over there back and forth from Canada over to Kazakhstan, I left to live there for a period of time. But there was a few people that he had met that they, you know, they really had the physical effects from that Chernobyl nuclear disaster. So of course, yeah, it's a big concern. And I guess what we could do tonight is just, you know, send out loving thoughts, you know, to this hurricane. That's what I'm thinking, was that if we all send loving thoughts, it's all about love. So why? It's almost like it's angry, and this hurricane is just angry. It's building up all this force. And if we send out loving thoughts, I guess it's not going to hurt.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll hang on for the ride and just see what happens, I guess, eh?
Yep.
Well, I think it'd be fun if we could do this and maybe have group calls in the future. I don't know if you're interested in doing that, where we just kind of, talk about things and maybe do some clearings. Does that interest you guys at all?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm thinking, I think so too. I mean, I certainly enjoy them, and I'm no expert. I'm like everybody, I have what I have, and I bring in what I know, but definitely. Okay, well, let me know if you're interested further, and maybe, message. I'll put it in the Facebook group, Healers Pathogens, and if there's more people who have interest in that, then we'll do something very nominal fee, and just do some clearings, whatever that is. There's so many areas that you can look at. I know, Sandra, you do your own energy work, and Jean, you're learning to do more energy work. So what the heck,
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Let's put that out there with that intent, and create that. Okay. Well, take care, and okay. We think of you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank